You wake up one morning and you don't recognize anything. The bed, the room, the crying child in the corner, the woman barely breathing beside you. You're not you anymore, and the world you've landed in is trying to kill everyone you love before you even figure out where you are. This is the story of a man reborn into famine, into cruelty, into a family system designed to grind the weak into dust. And instead of accepting it, he decides to fight. Not with magic. Not with a cheat system. Just raw knowledge, survival instinct, and the refusal to let his wife and daughter starve to death. Our guy lands in ancient China during what can only be described as a slow-motion catastrophe. The harvests have failed, food is scarce, and the body he's inherited belongs to a man who was already considered dead weight by his own family. His wife is sick, his daughter is barely holding on, and the extended family? They see weakness, and they move in like wolves. After dealing with that hungry trash family, he woke up at rock bottom, with mouths to feed and enemies already circling. But here's where things get interesting. The original Wei Chun was considered useless loser, weak trash of the village. A failure. A man the entire family had written off. But the soul inside that body? That's a completely different story. With knowledge of modern survival techniques, hunting strategies, and weapon crafting, our protagonist begins making moves immediately. He doesn't waste time grieving or panicking. He assesses the situation like a trained survivor would. What resources does he have? What threats is he facing? What's the fastest path to keeping his family alive? The first real test comes when he decides to go hunting in the forest outside the village. Then some village bully were looking at him and mocking. Now in this world, that's not a casual decision. The wilderness is full of wild beasts, and most people avoid it unless they're trained warriors or desperate fools. The Wei family considers him neither nor care. But our protagonist walks into those woods with purpose. He uses his knowledge of animal behavior, tracks movement through broken branches and disturbed soil, and sets traps that the ancient world has never seen before. When a large beast comes crashing through the undergrowth, he doesn't run. He waits. He positions himself. And he strikes with precision that leaves everyone who witnesses it completely speechless. That first kill changes something. Not just practically, because now his family has food and resources, but psychologically. He starts to see this world not as a prison but as a challenge. And he was built for challenges. Back at the Wei compound, the greedy, ugly, poor villagers were looking at my catch. The family operates under a strict hierarchy and favoritism. Certain sons receive land, support, and protection. Others, like his former self, are given scraps and expected to disappear quietly. The elders don't take kindly to a man they once considered worthless suddenly showing signs of ability. That kind of reversal threatens their entire power structure. So they push back, first through dismissal, then through manipulation, and then through outright aggression. Resources are withheld. Accusations are thrown around. Family members who once ignored him now actively work to destroy whatever progress he makes. After they failed to get any meat, they left empty-handed, muttering under their breath as they scattered back through the compound. No one looked back. No one offered help. It was just another reminder of where I stood in their eyes, useful only when I provided something, invisible when I didn't. I stood there a moment longer, the weight of it settling in my hands where the catch had been. Then I turned away and walked back down the worn path toward home with my wild pig. The compound noise faded behind me, replaced by the quiet emptiness of the outskirts. Each step felt heavier than the last, not from exhaustion alone, but from what I was returning to. A sick wife who could barely lift her head. A child too hungry to even cry properly anymore. There was no relief waiting at home, only need. And the certainty that tomorrow would be the same unless something changed. Then they saw the pig meat. Their eyes widened at once, and the tension in the room broke. For the first time in days, there was real relief. My wife's lips trembled as she tried to sit up. My child, weak as she was, managed a faint sound of excitement. Hunger had been winning for too long. I didn't waste time. I started cooking immediately, working over the fire with whatever tools I had. The smell of meat filled the small house, thick and warm, like something we hadn't felt in far too long. Outside, the world stayed cold and indifferent, but inside, something changed. When it was finally ready, they waited for me. Even in a time of famine, there were rules here. Men ate first, then women, then children. That was how it had always been done. That was how they survived. But I didn't care about any of that. I was from the future. I placed the bowl down and shook my head. We are family, I said quietly. We eat together from now on. For a moment there was silence. Confusion. Doubt. Then my wife's eyes filled with tears. Not of sadness this time, but something closer to relief. My child looked between us, as if waiting for permission to believe it. Slowly, we sat together. No order. No hierarchy. Just shared hunger finally being answered. We ate until there was nothing left. For a brief moment, it felt like survival might actually be possible. Then everything changed again. A knock came at the door. My stepmother stood outside. And she wasn't alone in her hunger. She was looking for what she had already decided belonged to her.